could affect your mental health.
So that's why we have made this article called "The Economy is Cooked, but You Don't Have to."
How to keep your sanity during the economic turmoils.
Before we get into the article itself, we would like to introduce ourselves first. My name is Azelia Putrinandar with the name of 1251-0026, and my partner,
Firyal Azkanailah Nafisa Rudi with an of NIM 086.
So we have made this article for our English final project in our second semester.
So, enjoy the video!
The world is currently in turmoil. Genocides, geopolitics, and so on are underway, forcing every television station to cover important events that undoubtedly have significant global impacts. Problems arise not only from abroad, but also from within the country, such as corruption, inadequate policies, the use of state taxes for non-essential purposes, and the decline of jobs. The situation not only impacted the world, but also our country. So, what is actually happening in Indonesia? The economic turmoils that cause from the geopolitical tensions that caused the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The second is the raw materials and some goods prices that keep increase. The third is the weakening of Indonesia's currency, and the last is corruption. So, what is the correlation between mental health and economic turmoils? The issues are certainly major problems because they affect daily life and survival. The ongoing economic turmoil is deteriorating people's psychological well being. Rising poverty, unemployment, income instability, and uncertainty and economic inequality increase the risk of mental health disorders. The human brain is designed to predict future movements, regardless of the situation. Therefore, when economic and financial conditions are unfavorable and uncertain, the brain perceives these as a threat. This naturally triggers the hormones are necessary to prepare the body to respond to the potential threats. However, excessive release of these hormones can inhibit the function of the prefrontal cortex, the center of human logic.
Okay, so really, what should we do? First of all, is to identify any behavioral changes, such as maybe like a sleep or maybe different behavioral changes as different eating patterns, and we could see it. We could look out for each other as well. You could look out for yourself and for others as well for these traits. Two, there's a few help options that is available in Indonesia. There is a few helplines or hotlines. There is the TEPSA one, and there's a few helpline in the directory in Google. But I've heard that there is a helpline that is provided by the Ministry of Health, but I'm not too sure if it's still on because the line 119, the extension of 8, there is some news that it does have it has been closed down due to lack of like usage, and also there is like a lot of clinical care and professional therapy. If you are really in need of help, you can always go to the ER or emergency unit, and then get help as well if especially if you're at risk in suicidal risk. But also you could go to like public healthcare like Puskesmas, and you could get a referral to the bigger hospital to have get your symptoms treated, especially if you're using BPJS, or you could go to specialized clinics such as like psychology clinics and whatnot. They're usually more expensive by their each like one, but I would say it is a much more faster way than going through the Puskesmas route. Next. Again, this is the prevention of it. If you haven't got to that point, but I would say these does help. Have a healthy lifestyle. I would say diet has an important part. Two, maybe the subcategory of this is definitely movement, exercising, or maybe just daily movement of like walking each and every day. To manage stress well. You could do your hobbies and you have like a lot of coping mechanisms that you could use outside of maybe using illicit drugs or drinking or smoking. Three is resting. Definitely, there's a different type of rest, not only just a physical rest, but you could do social rest and so on and so forth. Just do a lot of trial and error. Four is stay connected with others. Again, mental disorder usually creeps in. You're isolated, so making sure that you're connected with others, you have friends or you have family, or you have even like someone that you know of would be a really great help. Five is make time for yourself. This is like a self-care movement. Maybe you could have a day for yourself. Maybe your Sunday would be your self-care day. Six is accepting yourself and setting realistic goals. Because again, I think the hardest part of this is definitely accepting yourself and recognizing that you may need help and setting realistic goals as if you don't really have to put a lot of pressure on yourself because you're not racing against anyone. Seven is look for things that you could be grateful for. Maybe the sky is good, or maybe what you eat is really good. Just take time and like write down what is grateful for you, or maybe make a happiness jar to write down each and every day what is like things that is make you happy, even the littlest thing. 8 is avoid alcohol, cigarette, and illicit drugs. Alcohol is a depressant, and also cigarette is also they they are a stimulant of the depression, and it is not really good for your health as well. So, and if you are, especially if you have mental disorder, it would definitely worsen your mental state. Um, and especially with the drugs, those are not really cheap as well. So it would might be make sense economically to just don't do them. 9 is talk about your feelings. Again, have someone that you know of, or maybe you could go to psychologist in the WHS or professionals you could talk to so that you could at least get things out, or maybe you could just write it in a journal if talking doesn't really go for you. Okay, so next, in conclusion, mental health isn't really separate from our bodily function, nor is it from our social life. Every part of our world is interconnected to one another. Thus, every aspect of this life is hardly in isolation. So one thing could affect the other. Hence why asking for help is so important, and having the economic stability would be the best option. But again, we must demand that for the structural problems such as lack of jobs and the social poverty is definitely in need of a closer look for government. Again, this one is also the one that creates the economic turmoil of itself. So again, this is definitely, so in conclusion, again, economic turmoil is also impacting our mental health as well. So yeah, that's all from me, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this.